Hello everyone, how are we doing today? This is your live stream, 9 a.m. Saturday, September 26th. How are you all doing today? I'm going to answer a question we got in the group earlier from Sam. I'm going to go Farho. Sorry if that's wrong. Sam. Followed up by Steve Gorlin in the likes. So I'll let this go for a few minutes, let folks join, and we will get going. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? Yes. Coffee. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So again, we're going to start off with a question that was left in the group from Sam. Let me put my dog down. Stay, Jim. Jim, stay. Good boy. All right, so we'll just get into it. Again, this is for you, so ask your questions. I will be able to scroll through and hopefully answer them for you. Again, we're going to start with a question I just found this morning from Sam. So again, I'll read it for you in case you haven't seen it. It is in our group. So this, he says, I know that Michael and his group are so helpful, so I wanted to ask you this question. I live in a big city, Houston, and have a hard time deciding on which zip code I want to study first to learn my market. What's your criteria to find a zip code you're interested in first when you want to study a new market, whether it's in your state or is out of state? I need to know the answer to this before it is too late and there's not much info around. So I want to break this down, and I'm going to do my best to answer it. And if I don't, if Sam is watching, I haven't seen if he's joined yet, or anybody wants me to go deeper, please ask, because I want to cover this because it does get asked a lot. First point, I don't pick markets for folks. I get asked all the time, what's the hot market? What's the hot market? I'll never answer that question because what's hot to me may not be hot to you. I don't know all the markets. I don't want to risk telling you a market that turns to be terrible. It's not where I want to play. That said, hopefully it's clear you're in the course with me. I'm trying to teach you, I don't know a better analogy, I apologize, but it's a golf swing, right? I believe that you can learn the skill of evaluating a market, right? It's just repetition, right? I don't know if you've ever played golf, but the first time I picked up a set of clubs, I was 25 or 26, and it was horrible. It's the most awkward thing ever, frankly, a golf swing. But if you do it over and over and get a little coaching and a little help, it becomes easier, and then you can go from the driving range to a golf course. And most importantly, once you've practiced on the driving range, you can take that swing to any golf course in any state. So I am trying to teach you the golf swing while you're on the driving range. So what I would tell Sam or anyone who asks this question is I would pick a zip code close by. Why? Because I want you to learn what it takes, right? What does it take? And by doing it, if you go through the course, seeing the properties are important, right? Because you remember the column ABC, trying to understand what rents and don't rents and all of that. If you can pick a zip code that's relatively close by, so you could go see it every weekend and you could see 5, 6, 7 properties. You could network, you can get to meet contractors, figure out what rents are, and you could just understand the vocabulary. You will start to understand what the golf swing feels like on the driving range. Now, some of you may be hearing me say this and go, that is a complete waste of time. Why would I want to learn Houston in Sam's question when I'm not going to invest here? Again, I'm teaching you how to swing a golf club on a driving range. You might as well do that close by. Why would you want to go and invest in Detroit, which is just north of Houston, when you can't get all those extras, right? So I understand the apprehension. I understand the feeling of wasted time. I guess I don't see it that way. I see it as a 60 or 90 day window. I see it learning the process, and then you could take that swing to any market. But to go deeper on that question, and again, as I always do, I only can pull from my experience. And that is when I picked Fresno, that was kind of the big city. But Fresno, even back then, was 500,000 people. So what I did very quickly is I found what was in the middle. I was like, what's middle? And frankly, what am I used to? And I was used to row homes, 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, city street, lights. They were all built like in the 70s and 80s, probably the 80s for the most part. And I'm like, well, that's what I'm used to. And it was about a 60-40 split, 60% owners, 40% renters. And I got that from various property managers I had spoke with. So that's why I chose what was called the Mayfair District. It's 93703. So that was it for me. Middle, rents, the rents made sense to purchase price. Right, there is a city in Fresno that's still hot today called Clovis. I looked there because I thought, hey, if I'm going to go to Fresno, I want to invest in the best area. Well, those numbers didn't make sense, and they still don't make sense today. So again, to really dig into Sam's question more, I guess what was important for me is the rental owner ratio, which you can never get perfect, Sam, but you want to make sure that I would want to have more owners than renters, hence the 60-40 split. Because you can go to some zip codes, like for me, back in 2000, there was a zip code 93701 called the Lowell District, which was probably 80% renters, 20% owners. And it was just beat up. Nobody was investing there. It was ugly. So that was something I saw. So I'd like to have more owners. And for me, you can always tell owners versus renters with green grass most of the time. It was, sometimes you just guess, but, that's something. What else do you have in your question? Again, in the beginning, Sam, I wouldn't overthink it. I would do something in the middle, more owners than not. It would have to be, maybe look for age of home. Like again, the Lowell District for me, a lot of the homes were built pre-1950, too old for me in the beginning. The Mayfair was a much younger housing stock. That was important. Kind of more traditional stick. Basically, one developer would come in and build it out. There's certainly a lot of character in those older homes, but probably not for a new investor. Probably, again, I think schools are overrated, but I don't think I'd want the worst schools. I think you can get lost in metrics, right? Crime, schools, transportation. I think there's some data in there. So yeah, hopefully, again, Sam, hopefully, we've tackled this question. If not, keep asking, and I'll keep trying to get better at answering it. But I'm going to stop there and see if there's other questions. So let me scroll back up. Oh, go away. Let's see. Scroll up. Okay, I think these are all good mornings. Okay, good morning. I sent an email about a package deal. Did you see anything interesting? I did not. I don't know. I haven't looked. I'll look, Avanish, and respond to your email. Hold on. Action item. Didn't look. Or don't remember either. But I'll look again. Hypothetical. Oh, I like hypotheticals. Can you ballpark what cap gains tax would be on a flip with a profit of $50K? Well, first off, a flip won't be capital gains, James. Capital gains only comes into effect, if I remember correctly, at a year and 1 day. Most people's flips aren't a year and 1 day. So it would be ordinary income. And then, as I understand capital gains today, let's assume you had it for more than a year, assuming that's still the time frame. I think there's different based on income levels, right? If you make less than X, it's 20%. If you make more than X, it's ordinary income ratios. So, but again, I think going back to your question, a flip is not capital gains. It's ordinary income. So whatever your tax rate is, hypothetically. Morning, morning, morning. Hey, Sam, how are you? I heard you say bird dogging deals, and I think you mean wholesalers and driving for dollars. It's just vocab. I didn't get it the first time I heard it. Yeah. Yeah, bird dogging is basically when you pay other people to drive around for you. So I'm not physically doing driving for dollars. Wholesalers do driving for dollars, but a bird dogging is like you could pay an Uber driver, for example. Hey, you're already driving around. Take note of addresses you think are a problem. So he would be my bird dog. So a bird dog is not a wholesaler. A bird dog is somebody you pay to do whatever they do, pizza delivery, UPS, postman. And if they find something, you cut them in. So that's what a bird dog is, in my opinion. Oh, he's under contract for something. Oh, here we go. I'm under contract with a dual agent, okay. I had a home inspection scheduled for Thursday, and the day before the seller postponed inspections because he's to paint the basement. He's being stubborn and will paint it and basically denied my inspection. His excuse is that it won't pass FHA with peeling paint. This is suspicious. Yeah, of course it is. I'm afraid he may be hiding mold or water leaks. Yeah, probably. I requested a home inspection and extension. My inspector says it makes it nearly impossible to find mold if the basement's been recently painted. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Angel, with the little information you've given me today, I think the seller is being a bad actor, and I would back out on principle. I just would. There's always another deal, Angel. Always another deal. Even in this crazy hot market where deals are hard to come by, there's always another deal. Anytime somebody in my transaction I feel is being dishonest or a bad actor, I'm out. I over communicate. I'm clearly above board. But if you're going to do me dirty, I'm out. Now, you could be losing a good deal and, but I always control the downside. And if he's going to scrape and paint and try to hide a base, especially, I don't even know where you are. I mean, basements, there can be real problems there with water leaks, and it can be a problem. So yeah, I would back out with the little data you've given me. And you know what will happen is you'll tell your agent, the dual agent, that you want to back out, and one of two things are going to happen. One is, okay, fine, done. Or two, the seller is suddenly going to be open to doing an inspection. I would cancel on principle, frankly. Can you share how you prefer to pay your contractor team, half up front, half at the end? So I pay them as they go. Usually it's 10 or 15% up front for supplies, depending on the job, right? If it's more labor, it'd be 10%. If it's more supplies, it'd be 15%. And then I pay weekly based on completion, right? There's a list of jobs, expectations, rates, and we just go down a schedule. Occasionally I move them around, right? If a job's, like if you're going to be putting in cabinets or something the following week, I may move it up because they need to order them. But in general, yeah, I pay for supplies up front, which is usually 10 or 15%, and then I pay weekly based on completion. Every Friday, unless Friday's a holiday. Welcome, Sam. I don't know if you caught the first part, but I took your question as the opening, so you may have to go back and listen to after I post it. But please keep asking, Sam. If I'm not answering your question, keep asking, because you're not the only one that has it. Is $2,000 worth of loan origination fees a good price, or is that too high? I don't know how big's the loan. That's a pretty pretty beefy number. But again, I don't know how big the loan is. I've certainly paid that much, probably more, but they were commercial loans. So yeah, I don't know. Hi, Jim. Jim's talking to me. In Houston, all grass is green since it rains. Since it rains a lot here. That's funny. I would ask property managers. Again, part of Sam, something you're doing, I'm sure, is getting to know a bigger and bigger network. So ask property managers, what is the highest rental area of Houston? And I would ask that question, and I would ask property managers, other investors, and real estate agents. Tell me about the number one rental market in Houston, for example. That's what I would do. And then basically what you're looking for is validation from 5 or 6 different sources. I never trust one person. I want to hear 7 people tell me about the Mayfair district, for example, back in 2001 when we started. Don't consider it messed up. It's a learning for you to avoid in the future. Yep. Oh, yeah. Replying to Angel, Sam? Absolutely, yeah. Didn't mess up. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Jeffrey's answering questions. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Sam, you'll go back? Okay, cool. All right. What other questions? I think I got them all. Yeah, I think I got them all. Any other questions from the group? Let me actually, since I have my computer open, see if I missed any questions. Let's see if I missed any other questions from the group. Oh, Jeffrey posted a debate between, Richard Wolff and Peter Schiff, the K-shaped recovery. Yep, I haven't watched that yet. I need to watch that. Saw's Ready posted a question about, is it better to close a property at the end of the month? Basically, I guess, yeah, trying to time a closing to when I guess you get the biggest credit. So I never thought about it that way. All right, so now we got some more questions. Okay. Have I ever considered being a private lender? No. I know April Crossley has done it. I talk to her probably once every couple of weeks. It's not something I'm ready to do, but it will certainly be something I do when I'm in my 60s. Right now, I want to have all my cash for my deals. I'm still growing, right? I did a video about thinking about 2025. Stop thinking about 2021. I'm still growing. So being a private investor is something I'll consider, but not for another 12 years, probably. So Clint, I think I answered that question already. I think 2000, it's hard for me to know based on or how big the loan is. But so it depends on how big the loan is. Would you buy a house with all bedroom to rent? I think, Sam, what you're asking me is, would I buy a house, like a 4-bedroom house, and then rent it by the room? I think that's what you're asking. I would not. I don't do that. I would never do that. Thank God. That just sounds like a hell of a lot of pain. But to be clear, I've interviewed people on this channel that do house hacking. Actually, I interviewed a nice young lady who's going to school to be a lawyer recently. That's what she does. She raves about house hacking. I would never do it. I don't want roommates. I wouldn't want to, have a house that has a ton of roommates. It's sort of like a college dorm. But again, remember, lots of people do it, and it's very profitable. It's just not for me. Have I ever bought a house from a wholesaler as is and had major problems like foundation issues, The part about getting a deal from what scares me a little bit is exploring still. Yeah, you're buying from a wholesaler as is, no data, very few inspections. Yeah, I've had surprises. Nothing foundation related. But yeah, I mean I've had plumbing problems. I've had roof problems. Yeah, I mean a couple of times I've had to spend an extra 20 grand on repairs, and that's all on me. And that's back when you were buying deals from wholesalers. Today, wholesalers are basically selling stuff at retail, so that's really tough. But yeah, I got a good enough deal so that I took the risk. But yeah, I've had problems for sure. I mean, I think I've done 25, maybe 30 deals from wholesalers over the last couple of years. Yeah, you're bound to have problems. I have a note. I sold a commercial building. So that might be one of the exits I have, Jeffrey, is selling some of my houses on notes for truly passive income. That's the best mailbox money out there, is being a note holder. So yeah, I have done it. I have a note today, and I will likely have many, many more in the future. Yeah, I think, Lawrence, the exodus from urban and high-priced states, i.e. California and New York, is real. It is investable. It is a pattern. I do think it continues. More importantly, there used to be generations that came into New York and California when they were young. I think that slows down excessively. So yes, I do believe prices go up. It is why I keep telling these idiots in YouTube that there's no chance of a price crash in 2021. Mathematically impossible. And I asked Greg, Anna, and Jonathan this week what they thought, and all of them said 0% chance of a national housing crash in 2021. I think doing public YouTube Q&A video disincentives people from getting paid course. Yeah, probably. You give a lot out for free. Yep. Yeah. Lots of people take me for granted. For sure. It's okay. I don't need the money. I want to help. I feel good at the end of the hour. But yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of people that are taking advantage of me. Yep. Yeah. One sec, I gotta pick up my dog. He's not happy. Oh, Jimbo, what's going on? He's not happy. He wants to go outside, I think. So let's see. A couple last questions. When you look for a potential house listing and there are kids' rooms that have been painted weird colors, yeah, Steve, that's a good question. When I take over a rental, all of my stuff gets painted the same. Everything. No weird colors. I mean, some of these rooms are just crazy. Blue walls and clouds on the skies, all that stuff. Some of them are done well, some done terrible. Every house I get gets the same treatment. Same floor, same paint. That makes it easier long term. So yes, I paint them all. Even if they're nicely done. In fairness, I think there was one house that was done so well I kept. Yeah, I think there was one I kept, but no, I paint them all. It's just because I want the next turn to be easier. I don't want to keep list of paint colors and all that stuff. Yeah, so I paint them all. In fairness, I think there was one that I kept because it was just so nicely done. Would I buy a house with all bedrooms up to rent it out? Again, Sam, I think I'm missing the question. But again, I meant, would you buy a house with all bedrooms up to rent it out? Would you buy a house with all bedrooms up to rent it out? I must be missing something. Sam, can you do me a favor? Leave that question in the group because I'm still not getting it. Are you saying that the house is already rented? And maybe that's what you're saying. The house is already all rented and you're doing it. Yeah, I would buy that. But I think I'm missing. Oh, all bedrooms are on the second floor. Ah, now I got it. Yeah, I would do that for sure. Absolutely. That's not very common where I am, but yeah, I would do it. But one thing, Sam, if it's common where you are, is you may have less or more rent for that. You also may have a smaller pool of renters because maybe older folks don't want to walk upstairs. So I would learn the community and say, hey, how many are 1 story versus 2 stories? Because that may impact rent and it may impact your pool of renters. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were asking me if all the bedrooms are upstairs. I got it now, my mistake. But yeah, I would buy that. I would just adjust based on rent. Yeah, Angel, that's what I thought too, but I think I was wrong. All right, everybody, I'm going to call it this week. I need to get Jim outside. Jim, say hi to everybody. Hi, Jim. How you doing, buddy? He's 15. He gets cranky when he needs to go outside, so I'm going to go take care of that. Yeah, every Los Angeles is painted Swiss coffee. Yeah, there you go. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.